All right, y'all. All right. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. Thank you so much for pulling up. Guys, we got a lot to talk about. Well, first and foremost, the Marvels. We got to talk about that box office opening. Even though the movie was pretty awesome, the box office was not, y'all. We also got some release date shifts in the MCU. A lot of trailers this week. Netflix really hit us with a lot from the Geek Week special they like to do. We got a look at Avatar and Yu Yu Hakusho, the live action adaptations. And we got a very special guest tonight. So we've got a lot to talk about. But first, let me bring in my co-host with the most, my man, Loretto. What's going on, man? How are you? What's up? What's up?
Good evening. I'm glad to be here. Always happy to be here. Talk shop with you, Leo. And, apologies to Duval County. Man, we stomped out them Jaguars. It's good to see my boys back on top. Niners faithful, baby. Stand up. Let's go.
Dude, I cannot believe the performance you guys had today. Y'all really came back, bro. I mean, small little losing streak, but y'all was like, listen, that ain't going to get us down.
I feel like the 3-game losing streak, we had to get out some anger issues, man. We took it out on them. All of the frustration, all the stress, took it out on poor Trevor Lawrence and his team.
Yeah, poor Trevor Lawrence, because they got squashed. I mean, handled, bro.
He was panicked.
Man, we play tomorrow, and I'm like really nervous. I got a movie during the game too, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm like, hopefully our Broncos. I'm hoping my Broncos can do something tomorrow. I think we've got a chance. We got an opportunity here.
I think we got a sneaky shootout tomorrow. I think Russ is going to come to play, and it's going to be him and Josh back and forth, man, for sure.
Russ is coming to cook. But guys, I've also got a very special guest on tonight. So happy to have him on the channel for the first time. My man, critic and content creator, Centel. What's going on, bro? It's so good to see you. So good to have you on the channel. Welcome man.
Welcome in.
Man. First off, yo, that episode was a bop. Let me tell you, I was in the backstage like, hey, we fired up. I am so happy to be here. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. I'm such a fan of the content. And now, look at me, Ma. I'm all grown up now.
Welcome.
Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much for coming, y'all. I love this man's channel. Man, we had a great time talking about Invincible, and he's been making Invincible content as well. Definitely go check out his channel because, man, I love looking at Centel's content, man. Every time, listen, I've got a group of content creators, too, that I look at Centel. I'd be like, listen, I gotta check on my people, and you are on my list, and I'm so glad to have met you, man. Thank you so much for coming on the channel, and y'all, give him a warm welcome down in the comments. Give him a warm welcome. So thank you for coming through, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. We are going to get the show started out here. We're going to roll into our first segment, starting off with... Guys, we're in Rate Your Hype, where we talk about the upcoming movies, and we rate them 1 to 10. 1 being, not so much. 10 being... we cannot wait, y'all. We've got several upcoming movies and shows to talk about upcoming today. We've got, first and foremost, the new Ghostbusters, guys. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, which I'll 100% admit, I just watched the trailer before I came on here, and it actually looks pretty good. Listen, I thought Afterlife was pretty good. Frozen Empire looks like it implements some horror elements. I'm really looking forward to it. Admittedly, I don't really know the synopsis, so let me give you a quick premise here from Wikipedia. It says, in Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the Spengler family decide to leave Somerville, Oklahoma, and go back to where it all started, the iconic New York City firehouse, and help the original Ghostbusters, who've developed a top-secret research lab to take busting ghosts to the next level. But when the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes a mysterious and evil force known as the Death Chill, Ghostbusters, new and old, must join forces to protect their home and save the world from a deadly and unpredictable fate that unknowingly could affect Earth's history with a second ice age. And we've got, returning from the last one, Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, Finn Wolfhard, McKenna Grace, along with with the OG crew, Bill Murray, William Atherton, and Dan Aykroyd's back too. Okay, I was like, are we not going to have him back? Ernie Hudson. And yeah, it's cool to have new and old crews in this coming up. But Lo, I'm going to toss it to you first, man, just based on the trailer, based on the cast, the premise. How we feeling about this new Ghostbusters, man? I mean, we're off to the races in this new series. We're in movie 2, and the first one, thought was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed Afterlife. It was a huge step up from the 2016 incarnation starring Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy, which I liked, but I really liked what Afterlife did in tying in the old and the new. And it's kind of cool to see them move forward together, which I thought this sequel was going to kind of do their own thing. So it's cool to see Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd still a part of the film. So that's pretty awesome. The special effects look great. I was telling you earlier, Leo, the joke on Twitter is that it's Ghostbusters the day after tomorrow, but I love a good disaster movie, so I don't mind it. I love the icy, frozen, taking over New York thing going on. It looks cool. Again, it's not something we haven't seen before, but I like the flavor just because I enjoy the cast. Paul Rudd's always hilarious. He had some good moments in the teaser. McKenna Grace stole the film last time, so I'm excited to see her again. And her chemistry with her little podcast buddy, that was fun. Yeah, I like the cast. I think with Finn Wolfhard hopefully has more to do. But, I look forward to this. I think I'm at like a solid 7.5.
Okay, that's safe. Yeah, that's a good. I think that's a good rating. I think I'm probably in a similar level. It looks like it could be really fun, but you never know when some of these legacy sequels could fall off. We got our boy John in the comments. Ghostbusters: Days of Future Past. That's kind of how it sounds like from that premise. But Centel, man, let us know how you feel about this new Ghostbusters.
Listen, I for one am excited about it. I really liked what was it? Life Afterlife. I think it was the one that was before this one.
Afterlife, yeah.
I was really surprised because it really did breathe life back into the franchise. I wasn't a full blown, absolutely hated the previous installment that they had before then, but I just wasn't moved because to me, it didn't have the soul and essence of what the Ghostbusters were about, and that is the original cast. And we got a chance to at least get a hint of that, especially towards the end. This one looks like it's going to have more of the original cast. I mean, there's still a little bit of tread on Bill Murray's tires and Dan Aykroyd, and I'm hoping that maybe we can get a few more extra lines from Ernie Hudson, because if you remember in Stranger Things, man, nobody wanted to be Winston, man. He was just kind of lame. So I'm hoping that we can get, a rebranding of Winston and kind of like make him cool. So visually it looks good. I mean, it's on par. But the thing that I'm most concerned with is that I'm hearing that this is one of the first projects that is not going to have the scent, the aura and essence of Ivan Reitman, right? The original OG director who passed in 22, I think. It's just relatively recently. I think his son is who's helming this one again. I'm not sure 100% on that one. Maybe not. Actually, I don't think it is him. But anyways, he's not going to be as closely connected to this franchise, which leads me to believe, when Papa's not home, the kids can kind of go a little crazy. But based off of just what I've seen from the trailer, it looks exciting. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah, that's a good score too, because it feels like it could be something maybe fresh for the franchise. It kind of, when I was watching the trailer, I got some horror elements out of it. I thought it seemed like it could inject a little, not too much scare, but a little bit of like fright in there and a little more creepy factor. I'm here for it. I think it could really help bring some freshness to the franchise. I'm definitely sitting at like a 7.5. I'm right in the middle. I think that it looks like it could be fun. It seems like it can be a good time, but at one point, does it feel like we're in too many sequels? Like we're going to reach a point where it's like, okay, when are we going to need to pull the plug? And I hope this isn't the movie where we reach that point, but it always could be, especially with legacy sequels. You just never know.
Do you guys remember the post-credit sequence of Afterlife? It was actually pretty cool. And to Sintel's like, I know you're looking more from Ernie Hudson, but it sucks they put it in the post credit. But they showed him, he's like the CEO of like a company, and like he was like, I think his company's the one developing the research development for this new ghostbusting thing. So
okay.
Yeah, they gave him a little bit more juice in this franchise. So
good, man. Because wasted opportunity, possibly. Get back up, dust it off, get in there, Ernie. Get back in there.
Right, get in there, Ernie. But you know what? I'm thinking too. Wasn't Sigourney Weaver in that post credit low? Was she in that?
I think there was two, if I recall correctly. There was two post credits.
She was in one with Bill Murray, right?
You're right. She was. Oh my god, that one got me. That one got me because they were like kind of just reminiscing about the old days, and oh man, hit me right in the feels.
She looks a lot younger than him. Poor Bill. I don't need to be that guy, but. Whew. But we've got Joe Son in the house. What's going on, man? John, what's going on, man? What's going on? We got Real James in the house as well. And her real review. Hello, welcome. Tyler Calvert, hello. All right, guys, let's move to. Oh, what does that say? Which OG Ghostbuster is getting hand soloed? Oh no. Ooh, man. Probably Bill Murray's character.
Yeah, probably Bill Murray. He probably doesn't want to be in there for too long.
Probably Pinkman, yeah.
I mean, it's we're getting to that point now. Like, do we really want to see Bill Murray running? Like, let's not do
yeah.
that. He needs to be here and kind of just sit down for a little bit.
What's funny is they did that to him in the 2016 version, and they threw him out the window. But it's just like he literally was just sitting down, like, oh yes, let me see this ghost you have for me.
All right, guys, let's move to our next property here. We're going to Inside Out 2, which takes place a little bit after Inside Out 1, and the main character, Riley, is now a teenager, developing new emotions, and it looks like Amy Poehler's back as Joy, but Phyllis Smith is sadness, Lewis Black as anger, Tony Hale as fear, so no Bill Hader back, no Bill Hader. Liza Lapira as disgust, which is a new one. And Maya Hawke is anxiety, which is the bigger new one we saw in the trailer. She was like orange with crazy hair. You know, I kind of thought when I first heard of Inside Out 2 that maybe it was a little too late. You know, that ship has sailed. It really came and went. And Inside Out was a great Pixar film. But man, the animation still looks as stellar. You're at least getting Amy Poehler back. I mean, I would love to get Bill Hader too, but at least you're getting somebody back from the original cast. I think this could work. I mean, it's a simple premise. It feels like it could be good. Toy Story proved that you could have some good sequels, and I liked Incredibles too. I know a lot of people didn't, but Centel, let us know what you think about Inside Out 2. How you feeling?
Listen, if they have another moment, what was the name of the clown that ended up catching one for the team so they could all move on? What was his name? Bebop, whatever that the clown was.
Bebop, I think.
That moment jacked me up, and you know I can kind of hold it together, you know, kind of well. But once he was done, I was like, oh.
Hey, it was Bing Bong, bro.
It was Bing Bong.
Bing Bong.
Bing Bong or something like that.
Bing Bong the clown, man. Yo, that right there was the moment in the movie where I was like, y'all got me. I'm cool with that. And because we're talking especially in this day and age where emotions are so pivotal to the growth and development of not just children, but adults as well. And we're adding some additional ones that are even more relative post COVID, and that is anxiety. So I'm curious to see how they spin that. I liked Maya Hawke. She was in Stranger Things, if I remember right. Yeah, she was one of the actors in Stranger Things. So I'm more curious about her and just this particular character in anxiety as a whole, more than I am anything else about this film. I'm like, what are you going to do with that particular emotion? And then there's more. It's not that, because in the trailer she got like her bags packed. So it's like,
yeah.
Who else is coming to this whole thing? So I say a good 7 out of 10 on that for me.
Yeah, it looks like it could be really funny. Like, I want to see what the other new emotions are going to look like as well. I'm like, all right, who are we going to bring to the table? I am sad we couldn't get Mindy Kaling and Bill Hader back from the first one, though. They were so iconic as Fear and Disgust. So I'm like, man, I would love to get them back, but that's okay. We're going to have to keep the train rolling. So, but the animation looks good. From what we got, it looks like it could be fun. Lo, how you feeling, man?
I'm gonna be honest. I literally just watched it while you guys were talking.
I thought he was gonna say he didn't watch the first movie. I was gonna be like, man.
So I mean, it's not in like my upper hierarchy of Pixar, to be honest. But Pixar has so many good films. It's nothing against Inside Out, but I did enjoy the first film. The Bing Bong thing was emotional, but take care of her for me, you know. I mean, if you don't feel something there, it's like, do you have a heart? Do you have a soul? I was disappointed to not have Bill Hader and Mindy Kaling back, but from the teaser, it sounds like these new voices are fine. By any chance, Leo, do you know who they are? Like, I have no idea who the...
Tony Hale is Fear, and Liza Lapira.
Where's Tony Hale from again?
It was discussed. He's in Arrested Development. I don't know if you know Arrested Development. He's Buster.
Okay.
And then I know, wasn't he in Toy Story 4 as well? I think he was.
Yeah, he was Forky.
Yeah.
Oh, he was Forky. Okay, that's cool. I actually really enjoyed that character. So, okay, that's a voice that I can get on board with. I like the vibe. It's kind of interesting how they got the construction crew kind of wrecking their mental space or whatever. So I think, like, as long as they keep the creativity with what's happening in our heads, like, that's what makes Inside Out special. And I really do like the addition of anxiety. Do we know if there's any other emotions coming, or is that just the only one?
I'm not entirely sure. I know in the trailer that's the only one they showed, but I think they
Yeah.
listed off a few in
Okay,
an
because I
update,
think that'll be kind of cool. Maybe add a couple more in there and kind of just show the complexities of our emotions in this format. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, like I said, I'm not a huge like diehard fan of the first one, but based on the teaser, I'm at like a 7. You know, I'll see it.
Yeah, I think I'm at like a hard 7 as well. I think it could be really fun. You know what? I'm bopping it up to like an 8. I'm gonna give it an 8 because it looked like it could be really fun, and I love that animation style. I mean, bringing Pixar back to the big screen is a treat. And I don't know. For the teaser trailer alone, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the vibe. I can't wait to see the new emotions. I know we're gonna connect with some new characters, so I'm in it. I'm in it, man. I'm an 8 out of 10. But we're gonna do this one as our last one. We're gonna go to Avatar: The Last Airbender. And listen, guys, this is a remake of the famous Avatar: The Last Airbender TV show that premiered on Nickelodeon in the 2000s. Takes place in a world where people bend elements, 4 of them: water, fire, air, earth. One person every generation comes along as the Avatar and can bend all 4 elements. And Lo was ready to talk about this tonight. He got his Aang hat ready to go. Okay, Lo. So the iconic moment, finally, guys, I want to say 5 years ago, it was announced that Netflix will be tackling another live action Avatar installment after M. Night Shyamalan's the one we don't talk about adaptation. We now have a new one on the horizon, and we finally got our first motion trailer this week from Netflix. How we feeling, Lo? What you think? You know, we finally got it. What do you think, bro?
Yo, man, I'm gonna be honest. Pardon the canines in the background here. My heart soared when I saw the trailer. Honestly, I mean, like, we already saw how the cast looks with those set photos we got, you know, with Iroh and Zuko. But oh my god, to see them in motion, to see Appa's fur blowing in the wind, to see Momo's googly eyes, to see the warriors of Kyoshi. Hello, so happy that, you know, M. Night didn't want anything to do with that, but we got him. You know, we're gonna see all of what's his name? All the love interests of Sokka. You know, he's the playboy of the group. So I am so excited. I am so excited. I cannot wait. It looks awesome. Like the Earth Kingdom looks great. That big wide shot going into the Earth Kingdom. The fire effects look cool. I'm excited. I mean, I don't see how they miss here. I mean, hopefully the actual, you know, episodes play out the way we hope, but it looks great. I'm at like a 9.5.
Yeah, man. Omashu looked awesome in that shot they went in when the doors opened up. It looked awesome. I mean, the geography looks great. The world looks great. The bending looks unbelievable. I can tell they incorporated acrobatics heavily into it. Like you see Zuko in the trailer doing a flip, fire coming out of his feet. I'm like, all right, they're going acrobatic here. They're really incorporating a lot of choreography here. I'm really, really excited. And I think Momo and Appa look way better than the M. Night Shyamalan version, just from those clips we got alone. Centel, let us know, man, how you feeling about Avatar. Right, listen, finally got a first look. Finally. Yeah.
Listen, I love the animated series Avatar. Love it. To me, it's probably one of the top 3 greatest animated series of all time. That's how much I love it. It's beloved. And to allow he who shall not be named do such a disservice, such a disrespectful move. I had doubts. I'm not gonna lie. I heard Netflix grabbed it and I was like, man, here we go again. And I'm gonna tell you what made me change. It's not the trailer that made me have a change of heart. It was a little project called One Piece that was on Netflix that made me change my heart about Avatar in general. I saw what they did with One Piece and I was like, you know what? There's hope. If they could do that with what is widely considered to be an impossible series to recreate, and they did that well, my heart sang and I was like, there can be hope. There can be hope for my beloved. And then I saw the trailer. Yes. Thank you. This is what I'm talking about. Now, listen, I am still a little gun shy. You know, I'm a little gun shy, but I'm so hopeful. When before I was like, it was a coin flip, 50-50 chance. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 regarding expectations and hope. I couldn't be more excited. Yes, let's make this happen as soon as possible.
I was being modest. I changed mine to a 10. I was trying to be like downplay how I feel. I'm at a 10. What am I talking about?
Man, it's hard not to be so excited, but I'm gonna be the Debbie Downer of the room. I'm gonna hold back at a 9 just because I'm like, okay, I'm a little apprehensive, just a little after M. Night Shyamalan's version. I'm a little apprehensive, but I think what all we've seen, we have seen some amazing things so far. The trailer looks awesome. I love that they feel passionate about the lore just in the depiction. Like you can tell, it seems like they really care about getting things right this time around. So I can tell the creative team behind this is very dedicated. I just don't want it to be a miss.
Hey, so you know what shot got me too was the fact that we zoom in on the back of Appa and like Aang's like smiling, like poking at Momo, and Katara's right next to him, and it's like that's that joy and that like wonder is what was missing from the previous film. And it's like, you know, the other film, like they were just so serious and we need to save the world. And it's like part of Avatar: The Last Airbender is these kids like, you know, enjoying each other on this adventure. So hopefully they really capture that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Do we know how many episodes have they released that?
I think it's 10, if I'm not mistaken. I think
that's not bad. That's
either
more than
10 or 8.
I thought it would be 8, but 10, I can. Yeah, 10 will be great. 10, yeah, absolutely.
I'm really glad they're not skipping the Kyoshi Warriors either.
Yes,
I'm glad we got Suki in.
And John mentioned a good one here. Shouts out Amber Midthunder, who will be the Moon Princess. So
awesome.
Huh.
Yeah.
Way to book the gig. Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Get the bag, Amber. Okay. 9 out of 10, y'all. That's where I'm sitting. I think we're all feeling hype about that, though. So let's move on to our main meat and potatoes of the show. Let's go to we're headed to the Roundup. Lowell, let us know what's going on this week, bro.
All right. It's about that time, you guys. You know what time it is. So this is awesome. This is great news. After 118 days, guys, finally the SAG-AFTRA actors strike has ended. They have come to terms with all the Hollywood studios. It's a long time coming. Now we can finally move forward with a lot of these upcoming shows and movies that just, quite frankly, could not film without their actors, obviously. So this is a historic moment. This strike in itself was a historic moment for Hollywood. And hopefully, again, I don't know all the specifics. I really hope this sets a precedence for taking care of all of these hardworking writers and actors, all of them, both guilds. They put in a lot of effort to make this change. And hopefully Hollywood recognizes that, you know, they got to compensate their talent that brings these shows and movies to life. Leo, let me throw that to you really quick. Like, I mean, do you know the specifics of what they nailed down? I know the AI thing was like the deal breaker the first time they negotiated. So hopefully they figured all that out.
Yeah, so there is a 7% raise in most minimums. So across a lot of the different pay structures, there's been about a 7% raise there. And then I was reading, I know that AI was a contention and why they weren't trying to sign a contract. That was like a big part of it was AI and the use of that. And I'm hoping that they nullified that. I don't know the entire specifics, but I'm just happy this is over, guys. I just want to say I'm just glad that we could come to an agreement that felt like it was better for the actors enough, because SAG-AFTRA was very, very passionate about the striking, and the WGA was as well. But they were very passionate, and they were ready to continue striking throughout the end of the year, into next year, however long it took. So this contract, no matter what stipulations it has in it, I'm glad that it happened, because it sounds like something that SAG-AFTRA is very happy to get. So I'm just happy for the actors to start getting back to work. It's been nice seeing like the Marvels, like Brie Larson posted on Instagram, and I know Teyana Paris and Iman Vellani both have been showing up to screenings. Like they're excited. They're excited to get back to work. So I'm excited for them, happy for them. I'm glad.
Oh yeah, this is a huge thing to celebrate. And let me throw this to you, Centel. Like,
Okay.
I thought this was going to drag out into next year.
Yeah.
So are you surprised with how quickly they actually did come to a resolution this time around?
Yes. Well, for me, in case you didn't know, I used to live in California, and I used to actually be a part of the industry, and I have friends and family that have been directly affected towards it. And there were some really hurtful things said by some of the producers regarding they have to pay their rent eventually, so we could just kind of wait them out. And that there was a lot of truth to that, as horrible as it sounds, because it is a struggle when you're striking, especially when you got to pay rent and bills have to be paid. So the patience that some of these artists had was starting to wear thin, and I think in my heart that they compromised enough to make sure that they can bounce back with some of their talent, so that they can get stuff done and paid. Get everything paid for. But I don't believe, from my understanding, not all of the requests were made just due to that being like a big part of it. AI does play a big part with so much stuff going on with augmented reality. I mean, you can look on TikTok and see faces being recreated. That type of technology is only going to advance and move faster and faster. But what this does, from my understanding, is allow more time to come back to the table to readdress it, slow the progress down until we can come back to the table to readdress it. That way, some of this talent can eat. That's the important thing. You want to make sure you say your piece, but you also don't want to make it so far off. So take so much time that your talent can't bounce back. I, for one, am really happy that the strike is over. Hopefully we can come back to the table again to address some of the other additional concerns, because there are a lot of additional concerns, but we can get, all these great projects so that we can review them again and talk about everything and then just get back into the fun of cinema and television. So I am actually a little surprised that it happened this early, because from my friends, family, and people that are very close to me, many were prepared to, like, it could be like 6 more months. It could be, tentatively a year. I heard that kind of stuff. So for it to be done as quickly as it is a blessing. So I for one, am happy. And then I'm hoping that those needs get addressed at a later time.
Definitely. And I felt the same thing. I think like September, October, we were thinking we were going to 2024 with this. So that's what I was worried about. So this is great for everybody involved, for the actors. And like you said, though, I hope that they still leave that door open to keep on fixing things. I hope they don't just settle here. So obviously we are all happy to hear this. Great job. They finally got it done. So let's move on to the box office pulse, as we check every week now. It's become a staple of the show, but really though, this is worth talking about, guys. So the Marvels, they sit atop the box office. They're number one for the weekend, but they also have the worst MCU opening weekend ever, you guys, with a lukewarm $47 million. Just to be honest, the box office the past like 30 days has been really down. Nobody else went to the movies and nobody else really saw anything else. I think Five Nights at Freddy's was at 9 mil in second place. Priscilla and Killers of the Flower Moon were right in the bottom with like 5-7 mil. So everybody that went to the theaters saw the Marvels, but not a lot of people went. So that's kind of what we're dealing with here. I'm a little surprised at how low it is, but also I'm not, just because of the feelings around the MCU are really mixed right now. And plus the divisive reviews don't help either. Let me throw this to you, Leo. I know we were talking about it yesterday, man. We were loving the movie, but worst ever? Do you think this deserves it?
No, man, it doesn't deserve it. I think it's exactly like you were saying. There's some contention, man. And honestly, people don't want to pay to go to the movies every week anymore. There's just the viewing patterns of the public are different, man. Like when you get over that hump of like, okay, all these summer movies came out, then you had more movies coming out, more and more and more. It's hard to get people out as much as possible. And then with how bad not only Shazam did this year, but The Flash did horribly this year. Blue Beetle performed horribly at the box office. Even TMNT Mutant Mayhem didn't do great at the box office. So, we're going to see a lot more watching of the Marvels once it hits Disney Plus. You're going to see a big resurgence of that conversation coming back around about the Marvels. It's going to be big on Disney Plus. Figured it wasn't going to do well here. It's also got so much competition around the corner. You've got a lot of hateful language around it prior to the movie even coming out. There's just so much around this that, yeah, I figured it was going to open this way, and it's probably not going to have a great run either. But you know what? It sounds like what we'll be talking about later with the schedule changes. They want to really listen to the criticisms and iron out some kinks. But man, I figured this was coming.
Yeah, no, it's definitely disappointing. And I kind of feel like it's a perfect storm of things. Like, box office of this year is just down across the board, but also a lot of the pre-hate for this movie it was just a combination of bad things, bad juju, if you so to say. So Sintel, I want to ask you, like, obviously, for me, this isn't surprising, but like, no other film hit double digits in the millions. Like, I think, like I said, Five Nights at Freddy's hit like 9 mil.
Right.
And are you surprised with how bad the box office is right now, just across the board?
No. For one, money is super tight. It's very expensive. And now we've developed a new habit of watching content that doesn't involve the cinema experience. And now, in order to get the cinema experience, you're going to have to come with a full-blown tentpole project. And the Marvels, regardless if it's good or not, it's just not a household name, which makes that difficult to be like a tentpole kind of project. Now, obviously, the malicious hate that's going on and the review bombing and all of that does have a huge influence. But when something like The Flash can't even bubble up, and that's almost a tentpole-ish kind of comic book character, it's going to be a really tight situation for anything else. So Marvel probably restructuring things and figuring out how to address this and what type of audience that they're trying to go for is going to be pivotal, not just for them, but for everybody else, because not everything is going to be worthy of a cinematic experience from here on out, and it may never return. So we have to find those projects that you have to go to the theater to see in order to fully get that experience. Top Gun is a perfect example. You're not going to get that same cinematic experience. I don't care how big your TV is and how good the speakers are in your home. You have to be in the theater to experience that. And I think the studios are going to have to figure out what those projects are and give us those, and then reserve other smaller projects towards just streaming services.
I love that you mentioned that, especially as someone that saw Top Gun in 4DX, where the seat was moving, the sound's blaring, and there's like wind effects. Like, yes, like that's a fantastic experience for sure. And also, shouts out James Cameron and Avatar. Whether you hate or love Avatar, both movies made $1 billion, and both movies were the premium cinematic experience. And unfortunately, I hate that that's what the box office numbers are starting to equate to. That's what people show out for, but that's the plain truth, and it's kind of sad. But it is what it is with the Marvels right now. I agree with you, Leo. Don't know how their legs are going to do, especially with the Hunger Games right around the corner and the holiday movies and all the award season coming up. This might be the worst performing film ever at this rate, but we'll see.
Yeah, when it comes to Marvel, yeah, it's going to have a field day on Disney Plus. And I'm going to be real with you guys. I think Disney is looking at it now and they're like, hey, Merry Christmas. It's on Disney Plus. Like, I really think that this is where this movie is headed. You let it run for the month and a half. You see that Aquaman's coming out, whatever. You drop this on Disney Plus and you get some major streaming numbers. That'll bring some people to the D Plus platform.
I was gonna say, I feel like they are so far in the red with Disney Plus that it's not going to matter. But with that being said, let's stay on the MCU here and look ahead. So the upcoming film schedule had some major shifts thanks to partially because of the SAG-AFTRA strike, kind of delaying all the projects, and it's left Marvel with one film in 2024. So previously, Captain America: Brave New World, Thunderbolts, and I believe Blade as well were all trying to fit into that 2024 slate, and they all got bumped out. Yeah, so those three all got bumped out. There's a lot of exciting things looking forward, but we reported the other day how I think we were talking about it last night. Actually, I think how Captain America completely got reworked. I guess the test screenings were poor, and they're kind of reworking that whole film. So this is interesting news, but I just feel like with this time being spent, I hope they just get things right, figure out what's going wrong, and just I think Deadpool 3 is the perfect movie to put them back on the map and boost those numbers right back up. And hopefully they just get that one right, and we'll be right back on course. I'll throw this right back to you, Sintel. I mean, obviously the strikes did not help any of these projects move forward, but I mean, are you looking forward to a couple of these? And I'm actually surprised that Blade is this close to coming. At this point, I felt like it was going to be another 5 years or so. So how excited are you for these upcoming projects?
Oh, I'm super excited. I'm curious to see what Feige's game plan is going to be. I think there's something to having your IP being bespoke to your audience. I think there's a reason why Five Nights at Freddy's is doing so well. It's very bespoke. I heard the movie's not really necessarily that good, but it's very bespoke to the fan base, and that's what they want to see. And I'm hoping that can kind of catch on with Marvel as well. Not every film has to be for everybody, and now we're getting some time as a result. If there is a silver lining to the strike, is that you've given the gift of time and reflection. And I think one of those things that we're seeing because of that time and reflection is that Blade is going to be rated R, as it should be. That there's nothing PG or PG-13 about that project. When you're looking at Deadpool, it is bespoke to its audience. It is a violent, sex-filled, grungy, raunchy kind of film, and it addresses that audience needs. It's not made for everybody. So if there is a silver lining of what's going on to the strike, is that Marvel is like really paying attention to address the needs of its core audience. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about them, experimenting and trying different things and trying different types of narratives and storytelling. And I will always be a supportive of that. But if you're fighting for box office numbers, there is an importance to it really hitting the heartstrings of that core audience.
Absolutely. And actually, to your point, I'm just looking at this lineup, and sure, Deadpool 3 looks like a winner. If they figure out Blade, it should be a winner. I'm here for Captain America, but I'm looking at the Thunderbolts, and I'm like, that looks like a Disney Plus show to me, or at least like that's the kind of content that you would see on Disney Plus. I don't know if that's ready for the big screen. I love Florence Pugh as Yelena. That's my girl. I love that she'll be the forefront of this team, but I mean, it's a bunch of super soldiers. I mean, how intriguing are they going to make the Thunderbolts? So I think that one, they're shooting for July of 2025 too. I'm like, is that going to be a summer blockbuster? I don't know, guys. Leo, what do you think, man? And which one are you most excited for?
Man, I say snatch Elena up out of this and put her in Young Avengers, man, or put her in something else. Snatch her up out of this, man, because I'm just like, I don't know. But great comment here from Tyler saying, why is it taking so long to make Blade? Who knows, man? I mean, they've had like 3 or 4 writers go, 4 or 5 writers, something like that. They've had a director change. They had to pause production. I'm like, man, this Blade movie has been through the ringer. So that's unfortunate, but man, it's like Santel was saying, like that's giving them a little bit more time to cook, little things to be in the oven a little bit longer. So hopefully they come out a lot better. Because, I mean, if we've been going over that many changes with Blade, okay, hopefully this comes out to be just as banging as the Wesley Snipes version is. And that's especially the first 2 Blade movies, so good. Lots of action, lots of gore, lots of blood. Let's make it exactly like that. But I'm looking forward to all of these. Honestly, like you, Lo, besides the Thunderbolts, the rest of them sound great. Now, I think Captain America going to be a whole new movie. I think we're going to see. They said it was like 8 months of reshoots. I'm like, okay, that's a new movie, man. And then Deadpool sounds pretty fun. I mean, listen, him and Hugh Jackman together. I can't wait. I can't wait to see what they do with it. I know there's rumors of like other variants being involved. Maybe Daniel Radcliffe will get to see him as Wolverine. That's been thrown around. I'm super down, man. I mean, this slate looks awesome. Besides the Thunderbolts, I'm here for it.
Hell yeah. And honestly, I remember we were talking about this. I'm warming on the yellow suit more and more, man. I just wish they put.
Still.
I wish they put the mask on him though. Like, if you're gonna do it, go all the way with it. That's my thing.
Nah,
Like,
I'm
you
glad
got the
they
yellow
did it,
suit.
man.
Put the mask on. Like, come on. Put the cowl on. You know, come on.
I think for me, man, I just don't want them to waste Mahershala Ali. I please
Yeah,
don't waste that talent.
really.
Please, because from my understanding is that there's some frustrations in his camp, and I need y'all to make him happy.
Yeah.
Please.
And honestly, he's so perfect for the role, and he's such a good actor. It's like, come on, like, what are you guys doing? You guys, this is a home run if you get it right. Just make him happy, you know. But
completely wasted in Luke Cage. Completely wasted. I mean, Cottonmouth was a great villain, and then you saw what happened with that.
We're not going to talk about that.
Well, what killed me? Okay, so I mean, I thought he was great in Luke Cage, but what killed me was like they capped him like so quickly. Quick. It's like, yo, can we let him breathe?
He got what, 2 episodes? I think I was like, bro, I'm cool, man. Like,
yeah,
that was terrible,
strange. But let's move right along, y'all. And this one, I don't know. This was a candidate for what the F moment of the week for me. But I'm sorry, I didn't fix that caption at the bottom there. My bad. Please ignore the bottom there. But we got Darren Aronofsky tapped to do an Elon Musk biopic. Don't mind the caption there below. I didn't realize I didn't fix that. Sorry, guys. That's embarrassing. Let me throw this to you, Leo, though. I'll be honest, as someone that's not a fan of Elon Musk and I don't have a lot of care to see his life story, I mean, do you think this is a joke? This is a gag? Like, it doesn't feel real, you know? Like, what do you think?
I'll be honest with you, man. I'd be skipping this. I'm going to go ahead and skip. I'm going to just be real with you. I don't really have interest in learning too much about Elon Musk either. So I'm like, I like The Whale. I like Aronofsky's films, but I don't have any desire to see an Elon Musk biopic. So I'll be honest.
There is a part of me because Darren Aronofsky is such a interesting and very unique type of talent. There's a part of me that kind of hopes he twists it in a way that we didn't see coming, and that's what makes it kind of interesting. Because Elon is such a polarizing character, but it's not his story that's I think is gonna be fascinating. It's how does Aronofsky see this guy, and is he gonna like flip the script because he turned Noah into somebody I wouldn't have ever in a million years figured, you know? So I'm trying to see like what does that look like with this particular guy.
Yeah, I totally get it. I'm like, I see
guys.
Elon Musk biopic. I'm like,
last minute fix. There we go. But yeah, I mean, who wants this movie? Who is asking for this movie? I don't know. And I was actually joking earlier, you guys. Maybe Elon Musk just cut him a fat check. Like, hey, you're an Oscar Academy Award nominated guy. Make a movie about me. Here. I have a lot of money.
Yo, that when you're a billionaire, that influence sways has a lot of sway. There was the rumor that oh my gosh, what was the actress that he was dating that he had some influence on? Oh, never mind. Let me
Amber Heard.
Was it Amber Heard? Yeah. So there was a rumor that he had some influence into making sure that she's still maintained on the project because it's like
Aquaman. Yeah.
So I mean, but you're a billionaire. Billionaires, you could throw that weight around. So it really wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he seems high on his own horse enough to be like, I'll hire my own director and make my own biopic.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. So why not? Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me.
So Tyler in the chat, he'd watch Elon fight the Avengers, and man, they gotta slam him around the way that Hulk did Loki. That's what they need to do in that movie.
That's exactly what we need to happen.
But let's move on from this one. I just found that story hilarious. I'm like, what? Who needs this movie? But in terms of what movies we do need, though, I think this is a huge miss by WB. But again, WB, I mean, they've been fumbling the bag for a while now. So they shelved yet another project for what I heard was a tax write-off. It was the hybrid animated live-action film Coyote vs. Acme, starring John Cena. Threw him down there at the bottom there. I heard from word around the campfire, this was actually a pretty awesome film. I've heard a lot of people gave it good reviews. Like, I guess they saw it Was it a festival circuit thing they saw it through, Leo, or was it like a screener thing, or?
Probably just a screening within the industry.
So-
Quite a few people have seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a handful of people that have seen this film and liked it, but it's completely getting shelved, just like Batgirl, and it seems like WB is just being greedy with their write-offs or whatever. But this is awful. As it's just a lover of cinema, as a fan of the Looney Tunes, and we haven't gotten any Looney Tunes content in like forever. I mean, I wasn't really into Space Jam, the new one. I didn't really care for it too much, but yeah, this is sad. Leo, how do you feel about this whole thing? I mean, you hate to see a movie get dumped into the void, So
I know they do got that one on the docket, the new Daffy Duck Porky Pig movie, the day the Earth blew up. So they got that still on the docket, but I don't like that this is setting such a precedent for this happening. I think with Batgirl, it was kind of a phenomena. We could say, okay, it happened. They had to pump the brakes. It was an emergency. All right. Didn't want it to happen, but it happened. By the way, what's going on, Fatal J? Good to see you. But they didn't want it to happen, but they had to do it. Now, Coyote versus Acme, it seems to be a precedent, part of the strategy. What can we cut and clip here and there? And it's weird to me that they're doing it on a project that so many people are like talking so wonderfully about. And it doesn't even feel like that would happen with The Flash because of the audience reception of The Flash was good, but it just seems like this is too good of a movie for that to be happening. Even Batgirl shouldn't have happened to, but it's an odd one to chop if it had been like very widely acclaimed already.
Yeah, no, and especially for a family-friendly product. I mean, that's in and of itself, a family-friendly film has a lot of potential to make money. So, really quickly, Colby, what's up, man? Colby's in the chat. Fatal J said no one wants to see a Coyote versus Acme movie. Hey, you never know. Some things might surprise, like the Lego movie. I didn't think I needed a Lego movie, but I loved it. He's saying also we need a Roger Rabbit sequel. I would back that. That would be cool. But let me throw this down to you, Centel. Were you a Looney Tunes fan growing up? And I mean, how do you feel about WB just tossing films into the dust? Like, doesn't seem right.
Absolutely, a Looney Tunes fans, man. My dad, I used to sit with my dad, and he would explain to me like the techniques that they would use and the repeating of the scenes as they're running through the background and the old school Foley techniques for the special effects. I grew up with it. So to see an homage is still being paid this late in the game, on the cinematic screen, to me, it's like, oh man, I hate that it got shelved. But what I'm more curious about is, when it does get shelved like this, and I guess it's considered a complete loss, like, is it like a legal issue that it can never, ever be re-released again? Like, is there absolutely no way, maybe even if like 5-10 years from now, that they can re-release it? It's just dead on arrival. That's the thing I'm kind of curious about, like the why behind the tax write-off. And like Leo said, it does set a horrible precedent regarding like, well, let's take 30 mil off the books and just leave, the art to die. But it's also a very a big reminder of that we are dealing with corporations. These studio houses aren't owned by families anymore. The Warner Brother family doesn't own Warner Brothers. It's a corporate decision, and they're not seeing this as art. They see it as something in order to get the books right, to make sure that their bottom line is where it should be. I just hope that this doesn't become a reoccurring kind of thing.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of people compare this to like Roger Rabbit, saying it. They were saying it was like damn near the best since Roger Rabbit of its kind. It's ridiculous that this got shelved, and it makes me wonder, are other studios looking at this technique and thinking that maybe we can kind of chop some things, cut some things here and there? I'm a little worried about that. Or maybe they just dump some stuff on streaming, which in that scenario, at least it goes somewhere. But this is just, they're just deleting movies. They're just deleting shit.
What kills me is like with a finished film, like for example, for Batgirl, like, I know WB and DC probably have some sort of contract, but it's like, damn, can't somebody purchase the film? Like, like Netflix or something? Can y'all buy it and so just show it to us? Like, come on, Amazon, somebody like.
I feel like. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say too. And another thing is, after Peacemaker, John Cena has definitely gone up the ranks regarding watchable people for me. And for him to do a Looney Tunes project is right in his wheelhouse. So it's like, oh, I can't even imagine the performance that he gave, and we may never ever see the light of day, and that's disappointing.
Tragic.
I feel like studios would want to buy this. Like, would it Amazon or somebody really want to buy this property? I feel like it's such a valuable property to have that like somebody would pay to get distribution rights to this.
What kills me is I feel like this would have been a hit. Like, it's already gotten like
possibly.
a good word of mouth. Like, and I feel like Looney Tunes is an underrated franchise in my opinion, but I feel like this would have hit.
G. Colby pulling in with the Looney Tunes back in action is underrated.
That's the one with Brendan
Back in
Fraser,
Action
right?
was fun. Yeah, back in action was so much fun, dude.
Shouts out Brendan Fraser. But yeah, man, sad day in the movies, y'all. Hopefully that doesn't create a trend within the other studios, because that's terrible.
Man, I just think our viewing habits in general are just there's no going back. That kind of heyday of pre-pandemic of there's $7 billion movies in the year. That's done. Those days are over. They might as well just switch to how they're going to make money off streaming, because those days are over.
Yeah, and then now when you look at technology, kind of like with Facebook's AR technology, and you've got Apple's AR technology, that's probably going to be the next big leap towards the cinematic experience. You can kind of see them getting their ducks in a row, which is another reason why the SAG strike was so important, because you can see the studios getting their ducks in a row regarding like streaming and streamable content. So it's just, I feel like the cinematic experience is about to turn into why people go to the theater. You're going to end up paying like a very premium price. You think the prices are bad now? Just wait. It's going to really, don't be surprised. And I've said this to some friends and they looked at me like I lost my mind. I was like, don't be surprised within the next, 5 to 10 years if the cinematic experience doesn't look like theater prices. Like, a cheap ticket is going to be like $50. Don't be surprised, because they have to figure out a way to recoup so some of that money back. And, if it doesn't fit that narrative, you're going to get that tax write-off.
Maybe Sony could delete Kraven the Hunter. Yeah. I mean, if they just wanted to go ahead and delete all that Venomverse stuff.
I was just saying, I'm talking bad about WB, but Sony, can we just stop with the Spider-Man-less universe that features Spider-Man characters? Like, come on, you guys.
Are they still doing Madam Web? Is that still on the?
Yes, with Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
Yeah, that's coming out, I think, the next year or two. So, oh my,
I was just looking at the schedule. Let me see. I think it's coming out in 2024.
Have I know this is a little off topic. Have any of you all played the game? The new one,
Spider-Man 2?
Yeah, because
I wish.
I'm hearing people from more than one source. They're telling me the story is amazing. So there's another. I know I was saying it's talking about AR and the headsets and all that other all that. There's another form of where storytelling could fall to. So there's that as well.
It's hard. It's hard to get people to commit to going to the theater so much. And what I think movie theaters are just going to have to do, they're going to have to push those subscription services hard. They got to push their subscription services, like their AMC stubs and all that. They're going to need to really move toward people getting that, because at this point, you're not going to get 4 movies back to back. Sony dropping 3 of them.
Because I guess Kraven and Madam Web are coming out next year. I don't know what the third one is. I can't remember.
Venom.
Wait, another Venom?
Yes, sir.
Oh my.
Venom 3.
And what's great and what's funny, the only one that holds weight out of all of that is the animated Spider-Verse series. That's the rest of them are kind of like
yeah.
Everything else cooking at Sony, I'm like,
oh, by the way,
Marvel stuff.
Quick shout out for what would have been a good what the F moment. I saw on Twitter a girl making fun that Jared Leto climbed the Empire State Building because he's still promoting Mobius.
Yeah. I,
I was dying. I was like, yes, that man's crazy. That guy's got a screw loose, man. Like,
well, he was like pushing his album. Is it because he pushing the band, right? Is that what it was? Was that why he was doing it?
I mean,
he just
I
felt
don't
like
even listen to his band anymore, but sure.
Wow, yeah,
promoting something.
yeah, he's just different.
All right, y'all, we're gonna move into our final segment of the we're gonna talk some movies of the week, you all, and we're actually talking a TV show this week. We're gonna talk about Loki, y'all. The last episode of the series. Look, Lo is prepared with the headgear, man.
Yo, my man said, "I'm ready. Let's do it." Yes, sir.
He ready. But y'all, what a finale, right? I mean, we see Loki, and I'm sorry, guys, if you haven't watched Loki season 2, I'm gonna have to give you a quick spoiler warning. We're going into some spoilers here because this was a great episode. What a wonderful finale. We see Loki try to go back and stop the events from happening. At one point, he tries to stop He Who Remains from getting killed. It doesn't work. He's going back hundreds. I think He Who Remains said, okay, go with another 1,000 times. So I thought, okay, that implied that he had been doing that like about 1,000 times, trying to get Sylvie to stop. And I love that it comes to him having to make his own personal sacrifice, that sacrifice of the loneliness, him not wanting to be alone, but having to embrace that and embracing that glorious purpose to go and serve as the person to hold on to all the timelines. I love that, guys. I mean, he's pretty much the father of time here, the father of the timelines. And I like that even though He Who Remains was killed off, we still have that thread out there. There's other variants of Kang still running around. But the visuals here, the acting, the score, it's all been breathtaking, man. I mean, I was like, listen, you've got the Marvels coming out, and I would say the audience consensus is that it's pretty good, but you've got right alongside it this TV show that has just really been pulling its weight in the MCU and keeping like really true fans like really fed and keeping them really baked into the D+ shows as well. Loretto, let me know, man. How did you feel about the Loki finale? I know this is your favorite D+ show. It should be mine. Now, I'm biased to both WandaVision and Ms. Marvel, but let me know, how did you feel about this finale, bro? What'd you think?
Glorious purpose finally fulfilled. And let me shout out, look, Tom Hiddleston, Owen Wilson, the works, Gugu and Bathara, they were amazing throughout this whole series. But Natalie Holt, low-key the MVP, you guys. Natalie Holt with her brilliant themes and her sorrowful tones and her like just epicness with all the moments in this entire show. Natalie Holt, you guys, amazing job. And you kind of hit the nail on the head, Leo. I mean, what this finale really was, I mean, as we were going through the episode, I was worried about halfway through it was going to turn into like a Romeo and Juliet thing. Like, I thought him and Sylvie were going to kill each other at some point, especially when he confronted her at that one sequence when everybody else disappeared and it was just them two. And she was like, you have to kill me, don't you? Like, I thought that's where we were going. And oh my God, the ending was so much better than I could have imagined. The visual storytelling of seeing him physically walk those steps and then grab each little like thread of the universe and drape it over his like throne and his shoulders. That was awesome. Just beautiful, like literally like a visual storytelling what happened, and him holding the universe together is something like I didn't realize I needed, but it just is such a fulfilling moment for him, especially like as someone that loved it from the very first episode. I know it took you a couple, Leo, to kind of get on board. You weren't feeling it at first, but I've been on board since day one, since the second he took the Tesseract and branched off into the timeline. What a ride for Tom Hiddleston, and honestly, bravo to the whole crew for Loki. this was a huge accomplishment. And to be fair, rightfully so, Twitter's saying Loki's carrying the MCU on his back, and he quite literally is. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, literally. Santel, what'd you think, man?
Yo, one of the greatest hero arcs in Marvel history. One of the greatest hero arcs. And then there's this moment that they have when Hiddleston jumps into his body when he goes into the past. And it's the version of Loki that we were first introduced to. Selfish, conniving, trying to think of some plan. And the brilliance of Tom Hiddleston, oh my gosh, he gives us that version. And it's only for like 3-4 seconds. He gives us that version. And then he does that switch. And you can see him, the version of Loki, at the end of the road, and you in that little bitty space, you see everything, the whole story, and the beauty and the brilliance of the writing is Loki gets everything he asked for. He wanted a throne of gold. He got it. He wanted to be more known and more powerful than his brother. He got it. He wanted to be more powerful than his father. He got it. He wanted to be more powerful than Thanos. He got it. He wanted to beat. He got every single thing that he wanted. But that glorious purpose had a cost. And the only way he could get that cost is that he had to grow up. And we watched Loki turn from a child into a man right before our eyes. And it was beautiful.
Absolutely perfectly said. Couldn't have said it better myself. Perfectly said. Loki made a wonderful evolution through this series. One of the best in MCU, like you said, one of the best, easily. I mean, he just made this arc that just... I'm looking at this and I'm hoping that Marvel is studying this and they're like, okay, this is what we got to do with everybody else. Because we're on track with a couple characters. You know, Shang-Chi was a strong start. Miss Marvel's been good. Take that same caliber and make these characters just like Loki. Flesh them out like this. I gotta ask you guys, better than Thor? Are we calling Loki a better character than Thor?
Oh yeah.
It's not Thor's fault, but yeah, with where Thor's at right now, I mean, look, no offense to Little Love, or that's her name, right? Love?
Who?
Does she? No,
his daughter?
Like, is that her name? Her name's Love, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't
like,
think so, bro.
No offense. I kind of thought that was adorable, but yeah, from where
when Bale was calling her, when he was calling her Love, I don't think that's her name though.
Okay, I don't know her name, but anyways, 100%. Thor is like groveling at Loki's feet right now.
Right, I'm just like, all right, listen, if we go through the Thor library, I think you can kind of open up the drawer and say, all right, her name is Love. Okay, excuse me. We can kind of open the drawer up and we can say, okay, Ragnarok, man, I'm pulling that cereal box out every time. And then the other three, you're not as enthused about those cereals. So it's had one good shining moment in the Thor film franchise versus Loki, which aside from a couple episodes, to me, I've had a fantastic time throughout the whole series. And for the payoffs to come back from him, like you were mentioning, Santel, the Golden Throne and all these mentions we got earlier in Avengers and in Thor, he got all that. He got it all. And we saw and witnessed this all for so long. So exactly like G. Colby was saying, do more character-focused stories. And I guess this doesn't really leave room for a season 3, huh?
No.
From what I understand, this is it.
Like
the writers wrote it to end here.
Yeah.
But also really quickly, like to your point, it reminds me of the Hulk because Thor Ragnarok I loved, but it's like Thor's best moment came in Infinity War. And some of his funniest moments came from like Endgame being Fat Thor. And it's like his journey is really odd. It's really strange. We've seen him so much, but he has like one film that we could really hold up in like a high pedestal. So
yeah. You know, if the MCU was like a rap group, they'd be like Wu-Tang and Thor would be like Method Man. You know, Method Man was great on everybody else's projects, but his own projects, it was kind of just Like,
I love the reference. I love
That's
it.
perfect.
That's a good reference. And then you look at like Giza and like Raekwon got fire albums, but
Fire.
nobody talks about Method Man solo albums.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, but let me ask you one more thing regarding like the setup for the rest of the universe and particular characters, specifically Jonathan Majors. One, let me ask you, what did you think of his performance? And are you looking for the possibility of him, branching out into maintaining being the super bad with not He Who Remains? Oh my gosh, I forgot for this. With Kang, Kang as Kang the Conqueror. Are you hopeful still based off of what you've seen from him in Loki?
So I think he actually had a really good performance. I was like, yo, I think it's great. Depending on where they want to move, I'm not entirely sure where they want to go with the situation, with the legal situation. If they want to, go ahead and recast, but keep that character. Let's not make a Doctor Doom. Keep Kang in. If they want to keep rolling with Majors, keep rolling with Majors. But I'm saying if they want to recast. I think we've seen him do 3 Kang variants, and I think he's been fantastic in all 3. I mean, we had Kang, we had He Who Remains, and we had Victor Timely, and I thought he was great as all 3 characters. I know there's been a little criticism around Timely, but I thought Timely was great. What I loved about Timely is that it's just another display of his range. He could be that stumbly, bumbly, kind of nerdy guy who can barely finish sentences, or he could be He Who Remains, who is knowledge above all. I mean, knows time and space and manipulates time and space, and is confident, well-known character. So the range, incredible. I thought he did incredible. What about you, Lo?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, minus the controversy, I was a huge Majors fan from The Last Black Man in San Francisco, from Lovecraft Country, from The Five Bloods. I love this kid. I was like, yo, this guy is the next guy. He's like the next superstar. And unfortunately, he's got the controversy. And with that being said, I really liked his performance in the entire Loki series as Victor Timely and He Who Remains. But if they recast him, if like the things get worse on if he gets convicted of any of those crimes and they got to recast him, I wouldn't blink an eye, honestly, as long as they get another talented actor in the role. We talked about this, Leo. If it just, throwing it out there again, I would love John Boyega to take over this role if Jonathan Majors got arrested. Like, there's talented guys out here that can easily step right in, and it's not that Jonathan Majors is irreplaceable. It's just that the character itself could be played by someone else, and we wouldn't miss anything. So,
yeah, man, Boyega would be a great step in.
Especially after he just kicked Clone Tyrone's ass up and down. That was just beautiful.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll co-sign on that with you, my guy. Yeah.
Like, he's got so much range. Listen, I want this to happen. I know it's not going to happen. I'm like, I don't want him as Kang, but I'm like, I just want Denzel as some villain. And I was like, listen, in a perfect world, I know it's not going to happen, but it will be him and Giancarlo as Professor X.
Oh, boy, stop playing me with them two. With Giancarlo Esposito too. Yo.
If I could have Giancarlo as Professor X and Denzel as Magneto, oh my God.
Hey, he would be scary as hell as Magneto, bro. He'd be scary as hell.
Yo, Pollo Magneto. Oh man, that'd be nice.
I don't want to mess with no Denzel.
He'd be
Magneto.
the most like thug Magneto too. He'd be hard as hell.
but not like Joker, fake thug Joker. Like not the Jared Leto. It's like, oh, okay, it's like an actual like.
Yeah,
this dude
no, we're talking about Lorenzo.
Right. All right, guys, it's been an awesome stream. Centel, thank you so much for pulling up, man. Let the people know where they can find you and what's coming up on your channel.
Hey, thank you so much. Hey, you can reach me at Centel on all the socials, on Instagram and also Twitter. X. It's always going to be Twitter. Mama call him Twitter. I'm going to call him Twitter. And of course, you can catch some of my reviews and my reactions on /Sintel on the YouTubes. I'm currently going over what I think is one of the most slept on projects right now called Blue Eye Samurai. Come check it out. It's a banger. Oh my gosh. And just thank you so much for having me on the show, and hope to see y'all in the cyberspace.
Hey, thank you so much for coming. And dude, I gotta get on that Blue Eye Samurai. I'm hearing nothing but good things. Lol, let us know, man, what's coming up on your channel and where the people can find you.
All right. You guys can always follow me on Twitter and Letterboxd at Marcellus Durden. Eat my shorts, Elon. I will never call it X. Follow me on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. I'm a proud editor, reviewer, and critic at the Cinema Spot. All socials, check us out at the Cinema Spot or thecinemasspot.com. My managing editor, John, he's reviewing every single episode of Invincible. So if you're into Invincible, he's got awesome reviews on there. We have a review for Saltburn out, and I am halfway through getting out of my writer's block. I will be writing a review for the Marvels, so stay tuned. Check us out at thecinemasspot.com.
Guys, be sure to check them out on their respective channels. Head on over to YouTube. Check out Sintel over at Sintel. And head on over on Twitter. Check out my boy Loretto over at Marcellus Durden. And hey, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and come on back next week, guys. We'll be talking same time, same place here on Geekly Goods and Geekly Goods Live. We'll see you next time.